Hey everyone, this is Dean with DCA Crypto. Today I'm going to cover with you why I think the 2025 bull run could be the mother of all bull runs. There's a lot of information out there that kind of backs this up, so I wanted to cover that in this video and tell you why I think we could see the most gains out of this upcoming bull run out of any of them that we'll ever see in the future. Alright guys, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell to get notified of my daily videos. Please give this video a quick like to get the YouTube algorithm pumping for this channel. Alright, let's jump into it. Alright, so I want to point out this video with Crypto Banter. Ran with Crypto Banter, did an interview with Michael Saylor. I encourage you guys to go watch this interview. It's from a few days ago, and it's really interesting what Michael Saylor has to say about Bitcoin and what he thinks is going to happen in the future because of these ETFs. Now, currently, it's very, 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 very difficult for any business to buy Bitcoin and have it on their balance sheet. MicroStrategy is one of the only companies that has been able to do this because they've decided as a company that they're going to use cash to go ahead and buy and invest in Bitcoin and get it on their balance sheet. And then he'll explain to here what they're doing with it and their strategies in this video. If you want to watch it, I'm going to play a little section of this just to give you an outlook as to this is really, really important for you guys to understand why Bitcoin could really explode in this next bull run. It's really being held back right now from the financial investors and all of these companies that want to invest in it. He's going to explain in this clip here why it is so difficult for them currently to do it and how easy it will be to do for them to invest in it once the ETFs are approved. So let's go ahead and watch this video quick.
I think that the spot Bitcoin ETF is a monstrous offering capability that will have an impact first. That'll have an early impact because to the entire conventional Wall Street banking system. What it means is people with trillions of dollars of assets in 10 minutes can buy $10 million of Bitcoin, and they can do it no money down. So I could literally buy a $10 million house in 60 seconds with no cash, right? That's what happens when you get to an ETF. And so that will plug every major bank, every investment bank, all the money managers, all of the conventional Wall Street players into the asset class immediately.
Well, just taking one step back, what do you mean no money down? So if a manager wants to buy $10 million worth of Bitcoin ETF, what do you mean that I don't have to put money down?
Let's say you're a hedge fund and you've got $1 billion under management. You've got an account with a big wirehouse like a JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley or Goldman Sachs. And you've currently got it invested in Apple or Google or Facebook or other securities or ETFs that trade on those systems. If you wanted to buy $10 million of Apple stock, you could pick up the phone and say, give me $10 million of Apple, put the phone down. And if you don't have the cash in your account, your banker will forward you the cash at SOFR plus 50 basis points.
Right.
So you would pay 5% interest, $1 million of Apple stock, and then if you're short the cash, you're going to owe 5% interest on it over the course of the next year. But it's basically completely financed. Now, if you wanted to buy $10 million of an ETF like Bitcoin, and it's a spot ETF, you could do the same thing. You could say, buy me $10 million of Bitcoin ETF. They would front you the money, and you've got it in your account by the end of the day. Now, if you want to buy $10 million worth of Bitcoin, the asset, and you're that hedge fund, here's what happens today without the spot ETF. You have to go to your boss and say, I want to set up a new brokerage relationship with Coinbase. Then you have to get approval. Then you have to go to Coinbase. Then you have to get KYC. You have to wait 12 weeks. After the 12 weeks, if you've got it set up, then you've got to go to your board and you've got to change your trading mandate and get the permission to buy this. Then you've got to assign 3 people in finance to do the. Then you're got to establish a trading plan. And after you've done that, that takes like a year of bureaucratic moves. By the way, and they're going to say, no, wait a minute, we're going to establish, you have to modify the compensation system, the compliance system, the custody system.
I mean, I get it.
Okay, and they're going to say, why would you want to do this for 1% of your portfolio? And so let's say you did do it. If you took the year, and if they agreed to rebuild all of their systems and rewire them so you could buy this Bitcoin, then you have to go back to your boss and say, oh, I need 10 million in cash. Because
yeah, so basically, I'm not going to play all that. You guys can watch it. It's a really interesting interview, but basically it's impossible for these businesses to buy Bitcoin right now. So once these ETFs are approved, he's basically saying that they can buy it instantly. It's on their balance sheet right away, and there's no problem with them getting Bitcoin in the ETF form. And once that happens, we're going to have some really mass adoption of Bitcoin, because there is a lot of companies that want to get a certain percentage of their balance sheet in crypto and Bitcoin especially. And, they're going to start out with small amounts, obviously, and maybe do 1%, then 3%, then 5%, and so on. But all of these businesses that are going to be buying into these ETFs, you're going to see Bitcoin absolutely explode in the upcoming bull run. There's going to be lots of people that'll be able to add it to their retirement plans and their 401ks and all of these other methods that they are currently using for their retirement funds, but they don't want to go through the hassle of opening an account and having a personal wallet to keep their Bitcoin in and having to track that, where this ETF is real simple. They can just go and buy it through any one of these investment funds. And basically, I think it's going to be a huge catalyst for Bitcoin in the upcoming bull run. I'm going to show you some price predictions for Bitcoin for 2025 and what I think it's going to do. This article here, and I'll link these in the description of the video if you want to watch them. CEO, Bitcoin price predictions by estimate by experts. Kathy Wood, most people know her from ARK Invest. She's saying Bitcoin could hit over 1 million per coin in the long term with a base case of 600,000. I think she's talking, probably by 2030 and so on. Tim Draper sees Bitcoin price ultimately at more than 250,000 per Bitcoin by the end of 2025. So that's one expert's analysis. $250,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2025. Standard Chartered has a Bitcoin price prediction of 120,000 by the end of next year, by the end of 2024. So that's really interesting. This article here on Cointelegraph says Bitcoin halving could take BTC price to 148,000 by July of 2025. That's an estimate by Pantera Capital, and you can read through this article and why they think that. So if you go to the Bitcoin chart here, so last time, as you can see, Bitcoin got up to like 69,000 here at its peak, and then it came crashing back down to 15,000. If we go to the previous bull run here, 19,000 was its peak, so we came crashing down just below that peak of the last bull run. So I think in the next bear market, we could get maybe down to a $50,000 Bitcoin, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not, because with all these big investors coming back in, if Bitcoin gets pushed up to over $100,000, like $150,000, $200,000, $250,000, we may not see it get back down under $100,000 again. It just kind of depends on how much control these manipulators of this market still have at that point. So this could be their last hurrah to really get some massive income from shaking out all the retail investors. This upcoming bull run is going to be their last chance at that. So I think we're going to get Bitcoin pushed up really high and all of these altcoins really high, and they're going to get all this money accumulated, and they're going to sell and crash this last bull run before we see some real mass adoption by 2030. And I think once the 2030 bull run hits, I think that's going to be where crypto stabilizes, and we see a lot of these projects that are junk projects completely fall off the market and go away. and you're going to see some of these other big caps like your Cardano and your Solana and Polygon and HBAR and Quant and some of these other big projects that are going to stabilize and just stay up in the billions and billions of market cap once this mass adoption comes in. So they're predicting, let's just do this estimate here, what this chart's going to look like for Bitcoin. We got up to 69,000 last bull run. If we go to 2025, towards the end of 2025 here, that's going to be pushing us right into this area here. So if we got up to 150,000 by then, that's going to squish this chart so far down to where we're going to see Bitcoin get up to around this mark here. And that's going to make this bull run look pretty small. If we got up to 250,000, now we're seeing where, you know, we'll have this where we start coming up here and just shoot up, and it's going to make this last bull run look almost like nothing. And so really interesting to see how this is going to play out. But if we go to the rainbow chart here, you know, this is the next halving, and this isn't going to show us past, I think, 2027. Yeah, 2027 is as far as it's going to go. But if we look at this, we're going to come into this Bitcoin halving. Some estimates are saying that Bitcoin is going to be around 35,000 right around the halving. And if that happens, they're predicting Bitcoin to do like a little over 4x from there and get to close to 150,000, around 145,000 or so by the end of 2025. So that's going to put us right in here at the that would be November. The orange zone would be $184,000 Bitcoin in October 2025, because that's when they're predicting the peak could be around the end of October. And then you're in the orange is going to be the $145,000 to $185,000 Bitcoin in the light orange. So I'm thinking somewhere around the $120,000 to $150,000 is going to be the peak of the bull run. But I could be wrong with these ETFs and stuff coming in. If we really start getting some mass adoption, it gets over the $150,000 marker, that would put us in this light orange zone here. So in this light orange zone, you know, I think that's probably where Bitcoin is going to peak out. As you saw here, we got into the dark orange and the red this last bull run. The bull runs before that, we got into the dark reds, and then we didn't do that after the fact. So I think we're going to peak out just in this dark orange in this next bull run and continue to come down and level out and not get up into these red zones. That's just my prediction. And if we get up into just touching into this dark orange area at the end of 2025, you know, that's going to put us into the $185,000 to $190,000 range. But if we only get into the orange zone, that's still putting us 140 to 180,000. Let's see, 145 to 185,000 by October 2025, when they think the peak of this next bull run could be. So if Bitcoin, just imagine how much some of these altcoins. Okay, you had Solana hit 80 billion in market cap last bull run. ADA, Cardano hit $100 billion in the last bull run. That was with a Bitcoin price of $69,000. Imagine a Bitcoin 3 times that market cap. What if Solana hit 3 times its previous market cap and hit like, you know, $500 to $600? That, you know, if we put it at around or probably around $240 billion market cap for Solana, that's going to be huge. And if Cardano, if that got up to like a 250 or 300 billion market cap, you know, that's going to put Cardano, you know, close to that $9 range. So that's why I'm kind of giving these price estimates for these coins around those ranges, because that's what I think it could possibly do. Now, obviously, this is just speculation. None of this is guaranteed. We just basically have the history of the bull cycles to go off from, and the news. But remember, guys, one thing Michael Saylor pointed out is Bitcoin is going to be the only ETF in the world in existence that has a limited supply. And all of the other ETFs did fantastic. So he said, just imagine what Bitcoin could do with it being a fixed supply. So we could really see Bitcoin take off over the next several years and just go absolutely nuts. And that's going to pull up all of these big altcoins, especially with it. And the other thing is, gaming is going to be a big part of this upcoming bull run, along with artificial intelligence as well. So those are definitely plays that you want to have in your portfolio. I think that we're going to see a massive bull run in the upcoming, in 2025. And obviously we don't know that for 100% for sure, but all of these large investment firms are predicting that, especially with the ETFs. We've got like the perfect storm coming. We've got XRP basically winning the lawsuit. The SEC is getting shut down by the courts for trying to stop Grayscale and some of these others, and they're losing their case. With XRP winning their case, it gives crypto a win. And if we can get some regulation from the U.S. government in by the middle or end of next year, on top of it legalizing the sale of cryptos as a commodity, that's going to be absolutely huge. Hopefully it'll open up more exchanges and more options for Coinbase to list more coins on their website, and hopefully it opens the door for more U.S. exchanges to open up. If that happens, we're really going to see a massive bull run. And the perfect storm with the Bitcoin ETFs getting approved, and if we get legislation declaring that these cryptos are not securities when sold in the secondary market, that they're commodities, and we get some good regulation coming in, we could really see a massive bull run coming up. And especially with a presidential election year happening at the halving year, you're going to see a lot of money flowing into the market, because they're likely going to start issuing out, credits, tax credits to people, or possibly even stimulus checks. I know they're talking about growing the child tax credit to be like $3,600 again, or even better. And both parties are in favor of this, so that could be stimulus checks going out to families every month, which could really stimulate this market right before the halving or right after the halving. So we can be looking out for that. They're currently making decisions on that. Both the Republicans and the Democrats want to give out a larger package for the families for dependents. So if that happens, we could see monthly checks in the thousands going out to families across America over the next couple of years, permanently is what they're talking about doing it for, or at least for a certain period of time. If that happens, we're going to see a lot of money flood into this market. So just hang in there. This is a difficult time in the crypto. They want to shake you out. They want you to give up. They want you to crush you out of the market. We're in that part of the capitulation cycle of the bear market where they're shaking out everybody. People are losing interest in crypto. But this is the time when you really should be focused on the future and not worry about what's happening right now. Hopefully you're not running out of funds. I know I am, unfortunately. Every chance I get, I put a little bit in and just try to keep adding to my portfolio. The prices keep coming down. I just keep adding more to my portfolio. I don't even care that I'm down in my investment right now, because I know in the long term I'm going to win big, and I just keep trying to get my dollar cost average lowered so I get more and more accumulated for the upcoming bull run. I would really appreciate it, guys, if you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. I'll try to go into a little bit more detail of this in the future, and some of these other reasons why I think this bull run is going to be massive. But this video is way longer than it should be already, so I'm going to cut it off here. But I appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, and I also have the free Telegram, guys, if you want to jump in there and ask any questions. So go ahead and do that. I appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.
Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me, tell me, tell me. Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me, tell me, tell me.